After spending some time in Almaty, we decided to hit the road again and head towards the Charyn Canyon and Kolsai lakes. What started as an optimistic hitchhiking trip quickly turned into a humbling reality check. From struggling to find rides, miscommunication that left us stranded on the wrong side of the highway, and an unexpected night in a random hotel, this trip had plenty of chances to turn into a complete disaster. But with every challenge there comes a solution, and thanks to kind-hearted strangers, amazing views and unforgettable camping spots, these few days turned into some of my favorite memories from our time in Kazakhstan, despite everything that didn't go as planned. So join us on our chaotic 4-day hitchhiking adventure. Hello everyone! We are currently at a gas station 25 kilometers away from Almaty because we are hitchhiking today to Charyn Canyon. It is already 2 p.m. We started our day honestly way too late for the amount of kilometers that we have to hitchhike, but I'm still optimistic. And yeah, I'm super excited. First ride was a success. He brought us here to this gas station. And it was so Okay, so we fucked a bit up because apparently there's also a village that's called Charyn and we want to go to the Charyn Canyon. So when we said Charyn Canyon, they assumed that it would be like somewhere around that town that they're driving past. But the town is actually like 1 hour in the complete different direction that we needed to go, but we only realized it when they didn't turn when they should have turned to go to Charyn Canyon. But they have now stopped at like one spot where we can cross. We just need to really watch out that there are no cars, but there aren't that many cars here anyways. But it's also already 5 p.m. and the sun is slowly going down, so we now have an additional half an hour probably that we need to cover. So I'm guessing that we need at least 2 more hours to get to Charyn Canyon, and we have a few turns that we have to do on the highway. And I hope that there is no more miscommunication and that we just turn again in the wrong direction, because then we'll just have to camp somewhere next to the highway. But anyways, we're now gonna try and find a way to get back into the right direction, and hopefully we'll make it today to Charyn Canyon. That would be amazing. As you can see, we did not make it to Charyn Canyon. Originally we thought we could still like go to Charyn Canyon and maybe just set up tent in the dark. But when we crossed the highway, which honestly I cannot recommend, it's really scary, it's super dangerous, and I would never do it anywhere else. But here they have like a few areas where you can cross the highway if you need to, but it was still sketchy because obviously the cars don't expect anyone crossing, so you need to be very careful. But once we crossed the highway and walked a little bit down the road, we coincidentally stood in front of a hotel, so we just thought, let's be responsible for once today and just book a room. It's not super expensive, it's like 6,000 per person. We also had a good dinner at the restaurant that is next to this hostel hotel thing, and it was so good. I did not expect that because it's just like a random restaurant on the highway. We had vegetarian lakman, and for me personally this was my favorite lakman I had so far, and my brother still prefers the one in mishaps. Sati, come.
Спасибо.
You go this way?
Oh, okay.
Спасибо. Wir uns in die Richtung fahren und dann fahren wir erstmal mit. We made it into our first car and he's gonna take us, I think, for around 45 minutes with him. But we are not quite sure if we might have to pay in the end. It's quite common here that people hitchhike but then just pay for the ride. Like everyone can be a taxi, so if you stop someone on the road, you never know if it's a taxi or if it's just a normal person taking you with them. And we did say that we're doing hitchhiking, but sometimes they still like ask you for like gas money, and that's totally fine as usual. have made it to Sati and we're now trying to find our guest house. It's quite expensive here in this small village. I tried to find something on Booking and on Hostel World, but every room started at 40 euros per night, which is honestly out of our budget, especially since the rooms aren't even like that good. So I don't know why it is that expensive here, because it hasn't been that expensive anywhere else. So instead we just texted with one of the guest houses and asked them if we could just set up tent in their backyard, and that way just like save a little bit of money. And luckily they agreed, so now we are paying around, I think we're paying around 10 euros to set up our tent. So now we just have to find it. But yeah, we made it after a total of like 7 hours of hitchhiking one night at a highway. And I think it took us around 9 cars, like 1 truck, 8 cars to get here. So it's definitely not the easiest route to hitchhike, but it's possible. You just can't be in a hurry, because that won't work. Okay, we have set up our tent and I gotta be honest, this is kind of a waste of money, because I thought when I said that we would want to camp here, that it's clear that we would still use the bathroom, like that we just exchange the room for the tent, but the rest is still the same, like that we can still go into the common area and use the showers and the tap and all of that. But we are not allowed to go in because we are not guests of the hotel or like the homestay. And I don't know, that doesn't really sit right with me, to be honest, because we're still paying 10 euros to basically just have the tent up. And we could have done that outside of the homestay property. Anyways, we are now allowed to use like the garden toilet, which is fine. We are also allowed to use like the back washing sink, like not the one inside the hotel, but one that is like outside. So for me it's fine, like I have a toilet, I have some running water, but I don't know, I just thought it was kind of weird that she was very specific that we are just like camping and not part of like her homestay. But it's fine, we're just gonna sleep here one night. We're now planning to go to Candy Lake. It's not really clear how to get there. Worst case, we need to walk 12 kilometers. We are hoping that maybe a few cars.
Still so far from home. It's like we're burning into embers. Just a fire burns a cold world. As the days keep rolling on, we're living in hell again. But I still hold you in my heart when these days have been and gone.
Good morning, guys. It is the next day. It is currently, I think, 9. Originally we wanted to be on our way by now, but as it always is, we woke up a bit later than expected. And now we are gonna have some breakfast. Already ate an apple. I love the apples here. I'm obsessed. I eat an apple almost every day here. And then we're also gonna eat some bread. And then we're gonna go to the Kolsai lake, but only the first one, because we don't really have time to go on a full-on hike, because the plan is to come back. Ah! Bist du blöd? Because the plan is to come back at around 1 and then just start hitchhiking towards the canyon so that we can camp tonight in the canyon. Okay, so the first car that stopped already is taking us with them. I'm not sure if they're gonna bring us to Kolsai Lake, because I don't think they're going all the way to Kolsai Lake, because that's the end of the street. I'm just happy that we immediately found a car, because we are on a tight schedule here, so we really didn't have much time to just walk for hours. Anyways, but I also love how trusting everyone is. Like the amount of times people have taken us with them and then just left the car to get something, and oftentimes they also leave the keys in the car and we just sit there like they're children that they left behind to just get something. And there's no worries that we're taking the car, which I wouldn't do obviously, but still. I don't think in Germany anyone would leave a stranger in their car with the car still running. have made it into the national park. The guys brought us to the entrance and we had to pay 1,000 tenge. Wait, let me see if we can... Nope. And it's another like 2-hour walk to get to the lake, but we were hoping that someone would stop, like even a taxi. But so far, every car that has passed us hasn't stopped. Little update, I don't think you can hitchhike here. I don't know why, but so many cars have passed us where they definitely still had room and they all just did this, like, sorry. Like also people that looked like they would be taxi drivers also didn't stop, even though we would like pay. So we are a bit confused as to, like, I'm not sure, maybe you aren't allowed to take people with you here, but that makes zero sense. So we are struggling because we've decided we don't want to walk up the hill because first of all it's super steep and also it's 1.5 hours and we just don't have that amount of time. So now the plan is to go back down to the entrance of the national park and then ask again the woman if she knows something, but like we talked to her and she told us something but we didn't understand her, so we just started walking and she didn't stop us. So I don't know. Everyone has to stop at the entrance to pay the entrance fee. So we're just gonna ask cars there if they are full or if they can take us and also tell them that we're willing to pay. I don't know. It's just so confusing because there were so many cars. It's not the lack of cars. It's just that everyone was just like apologetic about not taking us, but none of them ever stopped. We almost lost all hope, but then a taxi finally did stop for us, and inside were 3 people that recognized us from the World Nomad Games. I truly believe if these 3 weren't driving up that day, that no one would have stopped for us. I still didn't figure out why no one, not even taxis, would take us with them, and if there are any rules against hitchhiking in the national park. But that's why I would advise you to organize a ride beforehand so that you aren't stranded like we were. Luckily, it all worked out in the end and we could enjoy a few hours at the lake. We actually made it, and we made it so good in time. It is now 4:30, but that's only thanks to 2 super sweet cars that just saved us completely. The first one actually drove us almost all the way from Sati to the canyon, so around 1 hour 20, which was an absolute lifesaver because there were almost no cars driving past us. But we are here and it is absolutely beautiful. We're just gonna walk on the top part a little bit so that we can have a view inside of the canyon, and then we're heading down into the canyon and just look for a spot where we can sleep. It's so pretty here. I'm so glad that we made it in time. There's no one. morning. It is 8 a.m. I've been up since 6 and it is so beautiful. I wish I would have woken up early enough to actually see the sunrise, but by the time I was up the sun was already risen. It rises at 5:30 and I was thinking of like putting on an alarm, but yeah, I also kind of needed sleep. But I did wake up at 6, so I did got a few moments of like beautiful light, and now the sun is burning down. It is so hot when you just sit here. It's insane because it's only 8 a.m. I think we're gonna have breakfast now and then just walk to the end of the canyon. And we have packed up the tent and we've hid it there. It's not like super hidden, but I think because everyone else is walking down there, they shouldn't be able to see it. And even if they see it, I just hope that no one wants our dirty laundry and our dirty tent. And also, obviously, whenever you're camping or out in nature, don't forget to collect your trash. So we're gonna take this with us. And I think there are some trash cans along the trail, so we're just gonna throw it away. Always camp with the leave no trace behind principle, because otherwise you're an asshole. Enough lecturing. We have a canyon to see.
We're gonna take a hitchhike, hopefully, to the highway. And then we're gonna drive towards Almaty with the zwischenstopp at a restaurant.
But now we are waiting for any tourists to leave, but it doesn't look like anyone is leaving yet. I'm still optimistic. I mean, they gotta leave at some point. We have a ride. We're gonna ride in here. He's a Netze. And now we wait. We stopped at the restaurant from the first night to have Lakman again, and after that we made our way to Almaty without any major complications. It's definitely always easier to hitchhike into a big city than out of it. Looking back, this was definitely our hardest hitchhiking route, but if you bring a lot of time and some patience, it can be done. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'm gonna see you in my next one. Oh, es hat auf mein Bein getropft.